Okay, now we've talked for a number of reasons about the number of ways to get different numbers of heads when flipping a certain number of coins. And we found by listing and by systematic listing that if you flip 4 coins, there's one way to get no heads. If you flip 4 coins, then in order to get 1 head, there are 4 ways. If you flip 4 coins, in order to get 2 heads, there are 6 ways. And 4 ways to get 3 heads on 4 coins, 1 way to get 4 heads on 4 coins. Now, let's analyze how many ways there are to get 3 heads on 5 flips without writing the whole list. In order to do that, well, there are 2 ways we can end up with 3 heads on 5 flips. If we consider what happens in the first 4 flips, knowing that the last flip is either a tail or a head, we can use these numbers to figure out the numbers for 5 flips. So, there are 2 ways we can end up with 3 heads if we think of what we get on the first 4 flips and what we get on the last flip. Okay, if we have a tails on the last flip, then what did we have to do? We had to have all 3 heads on the first 4 flips. And there are 4 ways to do that. Now, of course, if we get heads on the last flip, then then we had to get, in order to get 3 heads on the 5 flips, we would have had to get only 2 heads on the first 4. Okay, so, and there are 6 ways to do that. So there are 4 ways to get 3 heads on 5 flips by getting 3 heads on the first 4 and then a tail. And then there are 6 ways to get 3 heads on 5 flips by getting 2 heads on the first 4, which can happen in 6 ways, followed by heads. So it follows that h of 5, 3 equals what? In terms of these numbers, well, we could say 6 plus 4, but let's do it in terms of the h numbers. Well, that's the 4 ways you can get 3 heads on the first 4 flips are these. Okay, h of 4, 3 is 4, means there are 4 ways to get 3 heads on 4 flips. So that's h of 4, 3. And then we can get 2 heads on the first 4, then a head. Well, there are h of 4, 2 ways, which of course is our 6, to get 2 heads on the first 4. So that's this. So that's a number of ways we can get 3 heads on 5 flips. And of course you could list the 32 possibilities for flipping 5 coins. If you get a good list and count them up, you'll see that 4 of them have 3 heads on the first 4 followed by a tail. And then there are 6 of them that have 2 heads on the first 4 followed by a head. Okay, well now let's say that we know the numbers h of n0, h of n1, h of n2, down through h of nn. So what's this mean? For example, 2 is a number of ways of getting 2 heads on n flips. 1 is a number of ways of getting 1 head on n flips. We don't know what n is. We could actually write down a formula for this, but that's what we're actually trying to develop here. So we ask the question, how many ways are there to get 3 heads on n plus 1 flips? Well, to flip a coin n plus 1 times, first we got to flip it n times. And then we flip it again and either get a head or a tail. So, if our last flip happens to be tails, then we had to get how many heads on the first n flips? If we're going to get 3 heads on all of them, we got tails in the last one, how many heads did we have to get on the first n? Okay, well, obviously, we're not getting any heads here. We got to get 3 heads. Got to have 3 heads on the first n. Now, suppose that we flip the n and the last one is tails. Then, what did we have to get on the first n flips in order to end up with 3 heads? Well, you should answer that before I do, but okay, you got a head here, so in order to get exactly 3 heads, we had to get 2 heads on the first n flips. Okay, now how many ways are there to get 3 heads on the first n? And how many ways are there to get 2 heads on the first N? If we add the number of ways to do this to the number of ways to do this, we've got the total number of ways to get 3 heads when we flip N plus 1 coins. There's no other way to get 3 heads on N plus 1 flips. The only ways are tail on the last one, 3 heads on the first N, heads on the last one, 2 heads on the first N. Okay, how many ways to get 3 heads on the first N flips? Well, we got that right here, H of N3. So this is H of N3 ways. That N didn't come out very well, but that's H of N3. And this can happen H of N2 ways. So that the total number, we put these numbers together, and it's H of N3 plus H of N2, the answer to this question. Now to put that in notation, then we say, okay, well, the number of ways to get 3 heads on N plus 1 flips would be denoted by H of what? I've started it for you. Think it through. Okay, well, number here is the number of flips. We have N plus 1 flips, now that's N plus 1, and we're getting 3 heads. And that has to equal H of N2 plus H of N3. Okay? Okay, can we write a similar formula for H of N plus 1 R, where R is going to be the number of heads that we want to end up with on N plus 1 flips. Can we write this in terms of these? And of course, I'm assuming all the dots are filled in, so we have the whole list here.